Trump and their oligarch bros have more money than they can spend in 10 lifetimes, 20 lifetimes, but they need more.
Have you ever seen this level of corruption before?
No, and I am a native-born American, age 85, and I've been paying attention. I have never seen anything like this.
Hey, it's Jordan. I am in Flint, Michigan, East Palestine, Ohio, Tumwa, Iowa. Please support the only independent outlet on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up.
Nobody voted for
Elon Musk.
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 Oops, sorry.
Trump and all his minions, they gotta go. Elon Musk, all of them. Doge, they're just about to eliminate the education department. What? With a woman who doesn't know what she's frickin' doing? Nothing. She doesn't have enough experience. This has become a class war almost, okay? We don't need that shit. It's not happening. I'm poor, okay? I have heart failure. I got a bad knee. I'm on Medicaid, okay? I need that. I need that right now in my life. Everybody needs something at some point in time. And this is what we're doing. We're gonna protest all of that. Fox News, they admitted they lied. They admitted they lied, okay? They admitted it. Why? I mean, this is why we're here. Okay, let's do it. No, I've never seen this level of corruption. The man has been corrupt his entire life. His father put him into this world. His parents put him in this world. They taught him everything he knows, okay? And all the people that were around him growing up in his life. He's a grifter, people. We have a POTUS that's a grifter, okay? No more.
We, the people, defend the Constitution. We, the people, defend the Constitution. We, the people, defend the Constitution.
I'm here because Trump, and especially Musk, do not belong in the White House. I mean, our democracy is disappearing. People like you could get in trouble. The First Amendment is just disappearing. He's picking and choosing. My own opinion, I feel like at some point, Trump might just declare Fox the official state television station.
Right.
I mean, he's following Hitler's plan and he's following the 1984 kind of plan. It's just crazy.
You gotta kiss the ring. You gotta kiss the ring in order to get what you want in this country for those rich folks. Okay? That ain't working for me, okay? They're getting handouts. They're getting thrown bones. They're getting thrown bones for $1 million. Here's $1 million for your inauguration. Here's a bone. Fuck that.
People voted for Donald Trump, and he's responsible for everything that Elon Musk is doing. So we need to keep calling Republican elected officials and protesting and raise our voices and make it clear to the American people that those people are siding with a society that wants to control. They're not interested in helping anybody. They just don't have conviction about anything else but power.
Democracy in. Billionaires out. Democracy in. Billionaires out. Democracy in.
Stop the code! Stop the code! Stop the code!
Stop the coup! Stop the coup! Stop the coup! Stop the coup! Stop the coup!
I'm not an economist, but everything I've read suggests that this will only drive prices up. And in addition to driving prices up, it's going to hurt our economic growth. So we're going to see our economy contract because there's less trade. That's going to hurt companies that export. It's going to hurt companies that import, and it's going to hurt American consumers. Which, you know, if you're a Trump supporter, I hope that the pain is extra intense because it's something that you volunteered for. But a lot of innocent people, a lot of people who did not vote for Trump are also going to be hurt by this. And hopefully, you know, before things get too bad, people realize that they've made a horrible mistake, and they slaughter these fucking fascists at in the midterms. You know, we'll see. Hopefully, we still have midterms.
So many of us don't have enough, and they can't get enough. Murdoch, Musk, and Trump and their oligarch bros have more money than they can spend in 10 lifetimes, 20 lifetimes, but they need more. And they will take your kids' school lunch to get more.
My name is Manuel. I'm a postdoctoral scholar, researcher of inequality, basically. So just wanted to come see what was happening with the protesters. Read about 5051 in the press, so wanted to see for myself.
And how do you feel about what's been happening recently?
I mean, it's awful, and very consistent with what we're seeing in the rise of authoritarianism around the world. I saw in your last person you were talking to, kind of talking about how Putin and, you know, Orban and the leader of Turkey and Brazil, and there's all of these like strongmen, authoritarian leaders that are emerging throughout the world, and I think Trump is part of that same trend, and ultimately is like really worrying because the US has historically been kind of this strong democracy or whatever in the West and has been kind of a bulwark there, and if it falls to authoritarianism, it's bad for the entire world, especially the Western world. So.
Any taxes, any tariffs, I'm going to pay. The price of goods are going to go up, and who buys the goods? I do. You do. I don't understand what they think, you know, and a trade war, I mean, we're declaring basically war on our best neighbors, and it's frightening. I'm a person that's relying on Medicare and Social Security. I worked my entire life. I didn't retire until I was 75, and these things have just disappeared. So,
you're a veteran?
I'm a veteran, yes. It is. I don't understand how people I grew up with that are Christians can then listen to what happened. For example, when the minister that had the prayer, and they started to mock her and called her the Antichrist, and all she did was ask for Christian things. So yeah, it's a frightening situation. We're turning into some kind of a oligarchy dictatorship, and he's following Hitler's plan. I just reread a biography of Hitler, a newer one, and exactly what he's done is Hitler's plan. And the hatred is hatred against immigrants, now maybe even women, and anybody he can make people hate. And hate's a powerful, powerful emotion. I mean, absolutely, especially religious hate. Absolutely. So yeah, it's I often don't have the words to describe it, and what are we going to do? We're going to do what we're doing now.
He's from New York. We New Yorkers know his history. He's been a grifter his whole life. He does everything he can. He tries to loses money, gets more money. He finds all kinds of ways of getting money. He sells he makes up a Bible, sell to his people, and he gets money for it. He gets money for every little thing. So also you're talking about, Musk giving more his money, he's saying he gives us his power. But what was this thing here recently? He wants to have a special cyber currency bank in the United States. That gives him the ability to kind of pull in more money without anyone knowing it, right? Wow. It's undetectable. Right. He's constantly thinking of ways of how to grift the system, whatever. Anyone who gives him money, he gives them whatever they want. I think he also admires Musk because he's actually a successful business person, unlike Trump himself. But, I don't know, I guess, it's pure corruption beyond anything I could ever imagine. Oh, let me put in Trump's terms. The more corrupt than anything you've ever seen before.
Elites basically their dollars dominate the political agenda of the people who make our laws, right? And so this is more of the same. It's more overt in a way that it had not been before, much more consistent with what happens in, oligarchical countries like what you see in Russia and things like that. It's obviously going to be miserable for the working class. We already were a country where we have massive inequality. Reams of research showing that mass inequality is bad for the health outcomes of the citizens in that country, the mental health of the country, the functioning of the democracy. All of that going to be worse going forward. I study racial inequality. Those things are going to get worse. Like we already knew prior to this occurring, black families had 10% the wealth of white families. That's probably going to get worse. Not to mention all the health disparities between the two groups, and that's just one example. So I think, yeah, it's just going to get worse. I can't see it getting better.
Resist! 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 Resist!
He and Elon Musk have just completely shredded everything that our country stands for with no regard for the Constitution whatsoever. And it's abhorrent, and every single American should be upset. Finally, some Republicans are starting to get a clue and showing up at town halls. And that's what we need to do. We all need to show up in the streets, at town halls, in front of our representatives' offices, and if they don't listen, in front of their homes. We've got to get this turned around now before it's too late. Have you ever seen this level of corruption before?
No, and I am a native-born American, age 85, and I've been paying attention. I have never seen anything like this. And then the treatment of president of our ally of ours, an ally that we promised to protect when they gave up their nuclear arsenal, being crushed by bullies in the White House. Never saw anything like this before.
That was pathetic.
Beyond.
That was
Beyond.
insane what happened. Yeah.
Beyond. And I'm usually I'm a very well-read, calm, older lady, but this is...
What do you think about us? Basically, this country now is signing with fascist countries. We're signing with Russia.
Well, leadership of the country appears to be going that way. But what we saw today was people, ordinary people, in the middle of a Tuesday. 3 people told me that they had come down from upstate New York to stay in a hotel for this and for there's a Ukrainian activity later today. Just unheard of, and yet they did. So the American people they surprise you.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hope for them. I love America and I love my people.
Absolutely.
They're diverse, marvelous, talented people that care. And they're not going to stand for this. Fire people without mercy. Deport people without mercy. Forget the law. They're not going to go for them. They're not.
Oh, everything's going to get more expensive, and other countries are not going to want to do business with us. Other countries aren't going to trust us that we're going to step up to the plate when they need help. They're not. We've elected a felon, con man, crook, and New Yorkers have known this about Donald Trump for decades. But the rest of the world is just waking up to how much of a fucking con man and a wannabe. He's a wannabe dictator, and he's a wannabe mob boss. And now he's working for the world's biggest mob boss, Putin.
You guys, the independent media, you guys have really taken hold, and maybe it's actually hurt the left more than it has the right with the independent media. It kind of has. But I've always believed that the ABC, NBC, CBS, I'm an old-fashioned guy, so I grew up with the big media, so ABC, NBC, CBS, and then eventually CNN, eventually Fox. They all have their points of view, but the one very simple thing is honesty to me, and the idea, my parents taught me, don't tell a lie. Right. That's one thing they told me. That if I say something that's not right or that I know is a lie, I'm ashamed of that, and that's just become
right. Yeah.
And I hate to say it,
integrity. It's about integrity.
I'm Steve Lutzen. I was coming to lunch with a fellow who's a writer for Barron's, which is a financial magazine, and then I encountered all the upset people with whom I agree about the fact that we are in an environment today where we're being ruled by billionaires. And even though I worked on Wall Street, and I too wanted to be a billionaire, but it didn't work out. But nevertheless, what they're doing, because I'm also a lawyer, and I believe in this thing called the Constitution. And I think where we are today is that fortunately the American people are waking up, be they from either Republican, Democrat, and even MAGA, to the fact that we are now being, in effect, tyrannized by people who only care about themselves, who only care about preserving their billions, and they'll do it on the backs of all the other American people. And that's sad. It was Eisenhower who said, beware the military-industrial complex. That was in the 50s. And this is the supreme commander. He's a very well-respected man, but he called it. So we were alert to the idea that here's a man of extraordinary accomplishment, an esteemed president, decent human being, and he said, this is not where we want to go in this country. Now, inevitably, because of the industrialization of the country, because of the ability for these people to influence politics, there's no illusions. I quote the rule, the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. Nevertheless, there was some kind of check and balance that would go on so that, you had antitrust laws. You had things where they would at least limit it. Now where we are is it's unlimited. They're not allowing any of the checks and balances to occur. And if you're somebody who would be so foolish as to enforce them, you're gone. So your point's well taken. Was it always like that? It was always brewing, but it was also Biden, to his credit, who said, beware. This is where we're going. And an oligarchy is dangerous. And I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist. That's what they accuse you of. If you criticize capitalism, but this is not a perfect society. We know that. But what's really dangerous is the concentration of wealth. It's the second Gilded Age. And I think the oligarchy, like you said, now it's in our face. And I guess as being a New Yorker, if you're in my face, I'm in yours too.